Hello.
Hi, Angela. How are you today?
I'm hanging in there.
Are you excited about August rolling around? Is there something particularly interesting for a person who has young children when August rolls around?
There just might be.
Yeah, what would that
We
be?
have back to school.
Whoa,
and I am
what?
the mother who is jumping for joy.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Because if you've been following, you know my children are young, and my 4-year-old is starting transitional kindergarten in the fall. So for the first time in 7.5 years, I will have full-time childcare.
Oh, my gosh.
And our clients are probably excited about this.
I remember you when you were footloose and fancy free, you'd work late, and everything, and those were the days,
Those
right?
were the days.
You didn't even know.
Yeah, getting to that daycare pickup is rough.
I do remember one of my favorite commercials was for Staples, I think, and the mother is pushing the cart for back to school shopping, and she's happy as she's leaping for joy, and the kids are walking around behind with their hands hanging down, just so totally upset. And it's the juxtaposition of these. It's just fabulous going back to school.
Our school does a little champagne mimosas, and they call it cheers. Mimosas, okay. They call it, and they call it cheers and tears because half the mothers are crying and half the mothers are cheering.
Yes.
I'll just say, the one really annoying thing is that you don't get the school supply list until the day before school starts. But you're supposed to have been doing all this back to school shopping for a month. Anyway. I'm just happy they're going back. Life's good.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You'll be a happier Angela around the office in the future couple of weeks. Well, welcome to A Place of Possibility. I am Richard Del Monte.
I'm Angela Wright.
And we are happy to have you here today. What are we talking about, boss?
So today we're going to talk about a novel way to keep your home in top condition by using a handyman membership service. We're going to interview the president of a pioneer firm in the field on our show today.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, but first we're going to share a really timely point of possibility. We have a lot of students who graduated high school this year and are heading off to their first semester in college this month. And we have parents asking us, how do we get our money out of the 529 plan we've been saving into all of these years? So we want to take a brief moment to talk to you about what you can spend that money on, how to get it out, do you need to keep receipts, all that jazz.
Yeah. So first, let's talk about how to get money in the 529, because it's got to be in there before you can take it out. And so there are limits on how much you can put in. Each parent can put in $17,000 a year in 2023. And so basically, two parents can put in $34,000. In addition, grandparents can put in $34,000 a year. And so then there's another little quirky thing where you could put in 5 years worth of contributions in one single year. And that is called accelerating the gift. And so you could put in $170,000 per couple if you're going to send your kid to, whatever, Harvard and Stanford and, and they're going to go for
Brown.
8 years or something. If you do that, you have to file a federal gift tax exclusion forms. You have to talk to your CPA. So that's how to get money in.
All right. How do we get it out?
Yeah.
And parents, first question, what can I use this money for? I am going to read you the list. And if you pull money from a 529 for one of these things, it will be tax-free. These are known as qualified higher education expenses. Right. And it's a lot more than you might think. So obviously college tuition and fees, also vocational and trade school tuition and fees. You can use this for elementary and secondary school tuition up to $10,000. You can pay off student loans after college graduation. This is a new one. You can use it for on and off campus housing. There are some spending limits there as well. Food and meal plans, books and supplies, computers and technology, which is an expensive and long list these days.
Yep.
And I think it's
What about beer? Beer? Kids spend it on beer?
Unfortunately, the beer budget, you're on your own.
There's nutritional benefit.
I mean, technically.
Yeah.
I think probably more like paying the school food program.
Okay, fine.
Safeway bills, probably not.
I want to slip it in there. Because your kid's going to spend it on beer.
You have to wait till they're in their third year for the
right?
beer.
Yeah.
You have to turn 21, obviously.
Oh, come on. We're in the real world here.
Two things you can't spend the money on that are a little surprising to me: transportation and insurance costs while the child is in college. So just look at your plan guidelines and talk to your financial advisor if you have any questions on this.
Okay. So some people ask us, do we have to notify the IRS or anything when we're taking money from a 529? No, you don't have to notify them as long as your contributions are qualified expenses.
Distributions.
Qualified distributions, right? And that means they're being used for, the expenses we listed.
Mhm.
You are going to get a 1099-Q from the 529 plan at the end of the year, which you'll have to report, and you'll have to justify or tell the IRS, hey, we did spend this on qualified expenses. So you want to make sure you have that in line. And so people ask, do we have to have receipts? And the answer is no. No one's, there's no one checking to make sure these qualified expenses you spent them on, but you could get audited at some point, right? And so you want to make sure you have the receipts for yourself, the backups, so you can, to show where the money did go.
Right.
And the money can go directly to you, that, to reimburse you. It could go to the institution, the school. I guess it could go to the landlord technically if you wanted to, directly. It could go to the kid too, the beneficiary.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of you just make sure you can document somehow that the money was used for qualified expenses.
Yeah, I think the important thing to remember there is that it's between you and the IRS. The 529 plan isn't going to ask you what you're spending this money on, and it's not going to come up with the IRS unless you're audited. So as long as those expenses, that you're writing off seem reasonable, you're not going to throw a red flag and likely not get audited around this.
Right.
Richard touched on, how do we actually take money out of these? What's that process look like? And most plans, you have to check yours, of course, but most of them will allow you to cut a check to the institution or to the landlord. It'll also allow you to set up electronic transfers and make a payment directly to the school. You can set it up to the child's checking account, to your checking account. I mean, it really doesn't matter. And like Richard said, you can cut a check out of your checking account for the expense and then reimburse yourself from the 529, and that's still totally qualified. The IRS doesn't care about the cash flow at all.
Okay, so if there are remaining funds in the account after your child or whoever the beneficiary is has gone to college and it's all done, what do you do then? There are some options in that case. So you can change the beneficiary to another family member. You can just make a sibling the beneficiary, or a cousin, aunt, uncle, grandparent, parent if they're going to school. You got the options are wide open. You can also leave the money in the account in the kid's beneficiary's name and just wait for another kid to be born in the family, a grandchild, for example, and then you can make them the beneficiary at any time. There's no limitations. It's all very fluid. You can move things around however you want to. Starting next year, you also have the option of rolling the 529 benefit plan assets into a Roth IRA for the beneficiary. And in that case, the maximum you could do over the lifetime of the beneficiary is $35,000. There's a question about whether you can have multiple beneficiaries in the thing and each one could do 35,000. I don't know. We're waiting to see what the IRS comes back with. Yeah. But you have to, the limitation on how much you could put in for the beneficiary is based on their annual contribution limit, which for anybody under 50 is now $6,500 a year. And if they don't have any earned income or their spouse doesn't, they can't do a Roth contribution. So you can't do it then. So you have to be careful. Talk to your advisor, your tax advisor, or your financial advisor. A good one should be able to bring you right there.
And let's say, you find that you've got money left over in the plan. You can't do a Roth conversion. There's no one to change the money to.
Right.
All is not lost. Don't worry. You can pull your contributions back out with no tax and no penalty. That's totally fine. Your earnings now, if you pull them out for something other than a qualified higher education expense or a Roth conversion, not only are they taxed at ordinary income, but you're going to pay a 10% federal penalty. And if you live in the state of California, you'll pay a 2.5% state penalty on that. So on the earnings, you really want to try to spend them properly, but you can get them. You're just going to pay like 22.5%.
Right.
Or more in tax and penalties if you take that money out. So, good luck to all of the college freshmen out there. If you have any questions about how to get money out of your 529 that we're managing, please give us a call.
Indeed. Let's get on with the show.
Today we're talking about creative ways to keep your home in good working order and at the same time avoiding repair surprise expenses that bust your budget, essentially. One firm that's making a significant impact in this arena is Honey Homes. And our guest today is Andrew Perroy, their general manager for the San Francisco Bay Area. Andrew is a business leader and entrepreneur with over 10 years in tech startups with subscription business models across multiple industries. Most recently, Andrew was the general manager Americas at Vivino Inc., the world's largest wine marketplace and most downloaded wine app. Prior to Vivino, Andrew was co-founder and COO of Hopsy Inc., a local brewery marketplace where he led operations across production, warehousing, and distribution. He serves on the advisory board for the Department of Management in the School of Business at James Madison University and volunteers time as a mentor and guest lecturer for students at both of his alma maters, James Madison University, where he earned his BBA, and UC Davis Graduate School of Management, where he earned his MBA in 2011.
I'm tired already.
Wow, you've been busy, Andrew. Welcome to A Place of Possibility.
Thank you for having me. Really excited to be here.
Hi, Andrew. Great to see you. So let's jump in. Let's see. Okay, so could you describe the problems that homeowners face in the area of home maintenance typically?
Well, there's a lot, right? I mean, that's why we're all, I mean, many of us are homeowners. I'm a homeowner myself. And the way I kind of think about it is in terms of basic elements. So earth, air, water. So in each of those respective areas, your home is going to experience that in some fashion or form. So electrical, plumbing, could be pests, could just be like your foundation. There's just so many various places that your home goes through general stress over time. And so maintenance and upkeep, which is our expertise, is super critical.
Great. So we have a lot of people that are retired, and retirees are typically on a fixed income. How do they anticipate, and plan for both the big and the small kinds of expenditures that they're going to have, going forward? Because they need to be on a budget. How do you budget for these kind of things?
Well, I think that's what's pretty great about Honey Homes in general. So it is sometimes difficult to anticipate or estimate how much it might cost to tackle a project. So, and sometimes these projects are big, sometimes they're minor. And so our members find quite a bit of value in our model where it's just a flat fee. So it's a flat fee to be a member at Honey Homes. And then we are leveraged to provide that ongoing maintenance. We have a couple of ways that we do that. The first is there's what we call the home health checkup. It's just quarterly maintenance that our teammates will come in and evaluate various things in your home. It could be appliances, could be just making sure your smoke detectors have batteries, simple things to just make sure that your home is in good hands. And we do that on a seasonal basis. But beyond that, generally speaking, there's several experts that say you want to have about 1% to 2% of your mortgage that's kind of tucked away for potential eventualities that could happen. But for us, we're obviously tackling the kind of general maintenance and upkeep at a really simple flat fee rate. So there isn't that what is going to happen here. You are leveraging our expertise from our handymen and women that come into your home and can knock down those tasks for you.
Yeah. So in an average home, like let's say over, the lifespan of somebody living in that home, which would be, 30, 60 years in some cases, how often, on average, would you say the big things come up? Like you need a new HVAC unit or a roof and things of that nature?
Yep. Luckily, not that often. So that's good. But it all depends, right? The elements, right? There could be a lot of water that you experience, both in terms of rainfall, but also in drainage. There could be quite a bit of when it comes to potentially electrical. So the big ones really are, and then certainly I should talk about like heat and cold, right? So all these different things that impact your home. But things like roofing, that's luckily something that's much more like maybe 20 to 30 years interval between you have to do a full kind of big repair job. There might be little odds and ends that you do throughout the during that time, but usually 20 to 30 years for something like a roof. HVAC, that's more like a 10 to 20 years depending on the unit that you have and how modern it is, and some of the new energy efficient units that are coming out. Water heaters, if you're going on a tankless water heater versus the traditional water heater, those can last anywhere between, you're talking about 5 to 15 years, depending on what kind of unit you're getting. So they definitely vary. Luckily, the big ones are not that often.
Yeah. What do you think are the ones that catch people by surprise most often?
I mean, it's usually the ones that they're just totally unaware of. So I'll kind of think about when the membership that we have quite a bit of new homeowners, certainly homeowners that are in the retirement age. And so usually it's the ones where they're just not aware that they should be paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's nice about Honey Homes is when you have a tradesperson that has just seen hundreds of homes, they will naturally know, okay, they're in your home. They're going to be starting to ask about let's look at that. Let's look at this, look at that.
Yeah.
And so you have that dependent and that partner who can think about those things for you. So you're not so surprised, but usually, thinking it's typically things that relate to water is where it's like, okay, it's a big surprise, or relates to, I didn't realize that I had termites. I didn't realize I had rodents. I didn't realize I had those things, because it's out of sight, out of mind. It's in the attic, it's in the crawl space. You're just not there. You're not thinking about it. It's not on your top of mind. But for our technicians who've seen this like practically every day, it's certainly on their mind.
Yeah. I mean, this happened to me a year ago, May. I walk into my kitchen at 6 o'clock in the morning and there's water coming up between the floorboards. Not on my radar at all that there was even a pipe going through the middle of my kitchen.
Right. No, you would not know.
And 60 grand later, we have a new kitchen.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
I was not prepared for that.
Let me ask you, though,
when
do you have like a
think about, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
I was going to say, when you think about like when you come into a home as a first-time homeowner, it's you don't get the full, like, you don't have X-ray vision. You can't look at everything and see it all. It's all behind drywall, and who knows what's behind there. So it really doesn't happen until over time things manifest, and then you actually see them, or you happen to walk into that room that you haven't been in for a couple of weeks, and you're like, oh, there's something going on here. So exactly. So I think that part of the value, like I said, that our membership really enjoys, and the members that we partner with really enjoy about the service they get from us, is that, again, we're coming with all the expertise. We have our seasonal perks program, which is, okay, we naturally going to be thinking about HVAC tune-up coming into the winter season. We're going to be naturally thinking about your heating systems coming in the winter season. We're going to think about gutter cleaning coming into the rainy season. So there's these things that we have built into our ecosystem that we bring as part of the feature with our membership to members, so that you don't necessarily have to be the expert, right? Let us be that for you.
Yeah.
Good. Can I just ask, before we leave budgets, I want to know, what do you, if a retiree has like a 2,000 square foot house or something, a typical house, whatever that is nowadays,
2,000 is fine.
what would you say, just generally, not for everybody, but just generally, to anticipate as an annual budget to set aside
if
for
you're
maintenance? Not
smart enough to get Honey Homes, on average, what are people looking at?
You have is there like an average nationwide or something?
Well, I'll put it in terms of like Honey Homes, right? So in Honey Homes, our monthly service starts at $167 a month. And so we have a monthly plan and we have an annual plan. Our service for general maintenance for your home is going to, when you think about the kind of work that we're doing in your home, taking that out into the world, and like from what you might get from competitors, or in one-off basis. Oh, I see there's a leak there. Let me go call a plumber, or whatever it might be. Right. That's going to be multiple times more expensive than what you would pay through Honey Homes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting. And that would be considered, perfectly reasonable. But what you get with Honey Homes is, with this flat rate, there is no consideration of project cost or this and that. Now that's for basic maintenance. If there is a job that requires a specialist, the nice thing about Honey Homes is that we've got a nice large vendor network. They're well vetted, that we can then investigate on your behalf, tee that up for the specialist, and they can give you a quote.
Okay.
Amazing. So let's back up just a bit and talk exactly about how Honey Homes work. So you sign up, you're either going to pay on a monthly or an annual membership fee. What happens next?
So for flat fee members, get access to the dedicated handyman, comes to their home at least once a month to take care of the tasks. And so it's pretty fun, right? So the members they're taking photos, they're creating tasks all on the app. And then the handyman is actually seeing those tasks and starting to anticipate the needs for the home when they walk in. And so not only do you get access to that, then we always have an kind of like always on support to take care of the things that might come up that you want to message in about. So we've got chat with our expert team. You can update your to-do lists. You can schedule your appointments all through the app. And then the big benefit of having that dedicated handy person is that you get to know them and they get to know you.
Oh,
And that's, I can't stress how valuable we've heard from members how that is. I mean, just having that partner who knows you, knows your home, where should things be, where should things not be. Just having that consistency that exists on a you know, once a month to 2 times a month basis is so incredible, because it gets over all the early introduction and where do we go, how do we do that stuff that you would do on an every single occasion basis with every single technician that comes in your home. All that's done. You did that in the first time. Now it's just like, let's get down to business. And so I think that's good stuff. And for more complicated tasks, like I said, if we're happy to bring our vetted network of specialists in to give you a quote. And again, you're going to have that teammate, that partner who can have that help that conversation along too.
I have two, Bernie.
Yeah.
I'm interrupting. Okay. Can we run through a list of some of the most common things that people are sending in repair requests for?
Good question.
And like right now, one of my kids hung on the towel bar in my bathroom the other day. So now that thing's hanging off the wall. Is that something I would call you for? And then what are the limitations? Like my toilet needs to be replaced. Where do you end?
We can do that too. So there's quite a lot that we can do.
Wow.
And as far as like the general maintenance, I mean, 95% of what's going on, we could probably tackle. So most common are leaks, holes in the wall, some minor electrical, the outlet doesn't work, we're not sure what's going on, or X, Y, and Z. So a lot of those are really common. Repairing, minor repairs to toilets, to faucets. It could be like, listen, there's a stress fracture, so let's texture that, let's patch that up. There could be the touch-up paint that was in the back room that happened because your kid did X, Y, and Z 10 years ago that you've since forgotten.
Will you hang the curtain rod for me that I don't know how to hang because I don't know how to use a drywall anchor?
We will absolutely hang the curtain rod for you. Of course we will. Yes.
But
so I think that's what's nice about Honey Homes, as well as that, again, we find this coming as feedback from our members, is you can live in the home you want to live in. You don't have to live with the home that you've got, or it has since become. And so if there is that scratch on the wall or whatever that is, that cracked tile, you don't have to ignore that anymore. It's a flat fee. So just put it on your to-do list. We'll knock it down for you.
Amazing. I can just text you, hey, come fix this, please.
I just got done watching Jack Ryan, so I want to know, do you have a service that scans for eavesdropping bugs in my house?
We do not yet. We're going to put that on the list.
Okay.
You got to return.
Call the CIA or somebody else. Okay.
Anyway. So you made me think of another question that wasn't initially on my list, but you said you have a dedicated handyman or woman who you get to know, and it's that one person. How are you vetting these people? I'm on my own with 2 little kids. How can I be sure this person is safe?
Great question. Wow.
Yep. Yeah. And I think that's also, kind of one thing that separates us from our competitors. We do care a lot, right, about the relationship that our members have with Honey Homes. We need that to be a strong relationship to make sure that we're delivering the value and we're delivering on the promise. Mm-hmm. So we've done a couple of things to make sure that we're bringing in good individuals that can obviously naturally do the kind of work. So naturally they have to have the skills. So we look for a certain set of experience, a minimum of 6 years of experience in trades. So they have to have the skills to be able to tackle that general work, because anything's getting thrown at them. Anything's a possibility. And so they naturally have to have that kind of widespread experience. The second is, so we put them through a pretty rigorous recruiting process. And then and it includes testing for basic skills and for fit from a culture perspective. The second is that we put them through a really rigorous training process to make sure that they understand the Honey Homes way. And we use the word member delight a lot. So member delight is critical. We are here to deliver member delight. And we deliver member delight by partnering, being a professional, being that friendly partner of yours to then knock down tasks at speed and at quality. And so that's how we basically set it up. And then ongoing, we're always receiving feedback through the app from members. This went great. We love this. Here's some room for improvement. Another pillar that we have, one of our values that we have a handyman values that we use, is we welcome feedback because it helps us improve.
Yeah.
And so we are constantly receiving. Now, the vast majority of everything that comes in is like, this is amazing. I am so excited. How did I live without this? But that critical feedback that we do get, we take it extremely seriously, and we make change as a result of it.
I have to say that I think the service is a game changer for people like me, just I'm the classic woman around the house.
Yes.
Like, I hate to say it, take my feminist card away, I'm useless. Like, I did once repair my toilet from a YouTube video, but it took all day.
Yeah, not fun either.
And then you have retirees, you lose the spouse that was the one in charge of doing everything, or you just bought your first home.
Can't do it anymore physically, right?
Right. You've developed some sort of limitation, and it's pretty amazing.
Do you do background checks?
I've been in some homes. I've been in a lot of homes, having been with Honey Homes, and I'm a homeowner myself. And I had a condo. Now I've got a single family home, and which comes with all kinds of other issues, right? But I have been in some members' homes, certainly members who are at retirement age, and it's a great experience. So I've been in 2 homes so far where the homeowner was a tradesperson at some point in time in their life. They were a contractor. They've been doing this for a number of years. They have more tools than you could ever imagine in their garage.
Yeah.
But they either don't want to do it anymore or don't have the ability to do it anymore. Yeah. And so when our technician arrives, it's super fun because they have all these conversations, and they're like relating one another, that they're sharing, and it's a great experience. So whether you've got the ability or you don't want to do it anymore in any capacity, it's still a fantastic service.
Yeah. In terms of safety for your clients, do you do background checks on the people that are going in the homes?
Absolutely. Yep. Everyone goes through a motor vehicle and a criminal background check. Absolutely.
Right. Awesome. Okay, good. So, how and when did you get started, and how did you decide to anchor around the membership service model?
Well, I think, how we got started, it's a fun story. So, a home improvement and maintenance can easily spiral into this never-ending to-do list. And finding a handy man or a woman to work on the small jobs is hard. Oftentimes you find individuals who want to do big jobs, and they're not interested in the little jobs. Or the contractors you might find, or the big job folks you might find, they might, it's difficult. They might ghost you. They might not be interested. They might be there one day and then they're not the next day.
Yeah,
There's
that
just
happens.
all these pain points that exist, and just generally trying to keep your home maintained. And so Honey Homes was created to eliminate that. It was just, why can't there's got to be a better way, was the question that our co-founders were asking themselves. And so they started this concept, and it was themselves. They hired a handy person, and then they asked some neighbors, "Are you interested?" The neighbors said, "Sure, let's give it a shot." And then very quickly, over 2 years, now we have over 500 members. We've done over 20,000 tasks at 10,000 appointments, and we're continuing to grow. We opened in Dallas just recently, and we opened the Peninsula just recently. So it's definitely gone from, I think I might not be the only one with this problem, to, wow, everyone's got this problem, and we've got to get this out there as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in what geographic areas are you right now?
So in the Bay Area, we're pretty much, if you think about we're in the East Bay, Tri-Valley, down through like Fremont, then down to San Jose, up the peninsula. Okay. And so that's where we are today. A year ago, we were half that size. Wow. I would say even 6 months ago, we were half that size. So
sounds like you're onto something.
Quite rapidly. And then we launched Dallas, Texas, I think about 2.5, maybe 3 months ago.
Nice. Awesome.
Wow.
Options.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm wondering about other home maintenance services in the marketplace and how these are different. So a lot of people know about TaskRabbit or home warranties. How is this different than those?
So home service marketplaces like that, they require a big leap of faith from homeowners. So while there are many talented tradesmen and women on there, for sure, you're going off of reviews and ratings and that assumption that their capabilities are going to match your needs, right? And so for a flat fee, though, with Honey Homes, members receive at least one monthly visit from their dedicated handy person. And we not only tackle those to-do lists, but we also build that relationship. So it's not that one-off engagement where you're just hoping for the best. right? So it's a consistent engagement that you have with us, one month after the other. And if there's a more complicated task, we've got that third-party network that we can refer to, but still stay integrated in that, so that we're making sure that you're being shepherded through that in a good way. And at the end of the day, our goal is to remove the stress from home ownership and help busy families. So again, if you need to find a specialist for something, leverage us to do that for you. You don't have to go back on the internet and go find that specialist for that particular thing, right? We can handle that part for you. And I think that not only being able to knock down those maintenance tasks, but also be that partner in finding those other alternatives that you might need to look at, that's a big win.
Yeah, agree. I mean, someone like me looking for a water heater repair person is like, where do I even begin?
Right.
I have consumer reports. Can I trust that?
And then how do you get it to your house? And how do you, it's crazy.
And
what
we've all felt the pain.
How does Honey Homes differ from something like that? Like they come out and replace broken things, right?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
So yeah, like a home warranty, those services where you pay the monthly fee and then they come out and fix broken things. How's that different?
Well, I think that there's a couple of things that are different. So Honey Homes, right, is we're kind of broad. So not only do you have the appliance side, but you've got everything else that's going on in your home. Now, if an appliance is under warranty, no problem. Like we'll certainly help you investigate. We'll document what we need to document. Sometimes we might be able to avoid some of those on-site fees that get charged when they come on-site just to do the work that we could potentially do for you. So I think that in that regard, it's a bit different in that you have a little bit more broad spectrum, broad scope service when you get Honey Homes that could also help lend itself to some of the warranty stuff. So, and from our perspective, you're working on the things that are important to you.
Yeah.
So you're not paying for the potential, you're paying for the now. So I have this, please do this now. I'm paying you to do that. Boom, we're going to knock it down for you. Yeah. Whereas I'm not sure if the warranty is worth the value. And I question that each year. I'd have to decide if I'm going to renew or not.
Yeah.
And you don't have that with
it's an insurance policy, basically.
The consumer magazines say they're not worth it.
In my experience, they're not worth it.
But the other benefit
unless you're on a tight budget and something catastrophic happens.
Yeah. The other comment I'd make about how we might be different than other services is like it's painful when you have someone that you love and then you don't to do work for you. It could be on anything. Maybe it's your home, maybe it's something else. And then they're not there anymore. Yeah. And then you have to go back out and try and find someone, and maybe they meet those expectations, maybe they don't.
Yeah.
Whereas at Honey Homes, the service is consistent. Even if there's a change in the handyman, the service you should expect from us should be consistent.
That's great.
And so you have us as that dependency. If something changes, well, we get you another one.
Yeah. I like that model. Okay. Let me ask you, let me get down to brass tacks here. So what are the price levels, the monthly fee levels, and then for each one, like not for each one, but give me an idea of what you get for that. Is it so many hours a month, or how do you decide how much service you're going to get at a given price point?
Yep. So there's two ways you can engage with us. There's the monthly, so it's month to month, or it's an annual plan.
Okay.
On an annual plan, it's $167 per month is the kind of way you'd average it. Okay. And it goes up from there. And what you get for go? What's that?
How high can it go?
Well, right now we have a month to month at $200 a month, but we're actually now talking about, there might be extra services that we can provide to homeowners as they've been telling us what they want, right?
Yeah.
And so we know what we can deliver very well. And homeowners, once they identify, okay, we love Honey Homes, can you just do it all? Can you just do everything for us? Well, we'd love to be able to do everything for you. But right now we're focusing on doing this thing really, really well. So those are the two service levels that we have today. Now, both of those will get you at least one visit per month, if not two. And then those visits are 1 hour, 45 minutes each. And you pick and choose the time and day. So on the app, you can find the time and day that is available that suits your schedule. And then you load the tasks on that visit that's priority for you. Okay. And then our technician can see all of that. And then they arrive to your home ready to roll. And so basically it's a really quick introduction. Then they get down to brass tacks, like you said, knocking down tasks, engaging with you. And at the end, there's about 15 minutes that is used for cleanup, wrap up with you, and then submit that visit report. And so every single visit gets a report. And that report has videos before and after, photos before and after, messages from the handyman. It's kind of this living, breathing historical record of the work that Honey Homes has done in your home and that you have actually knocked down, because you're a part of this too. And so it's really remarkable when I look at the historical record of just the work that's been done of homes that's been here from like the beginning for 2 years, even those that have been here for even 6 months, it's a ton of work. And so it's really neat to see that. And then you have access to that. You can see what was accomplished. Maybe you're there, maybe you weren't there for the appointment, but you can either always go back and take a look.
Yeah. I love the simplicity of the pricing model too. It's not like, you have this tier and this, and somebody has to do a comparison. It's so simple. Do you want to pay annually? You save a little.
Right.
Right.
That's nice.
Yeah. It's nice. Right. And it also forces the homeowner to be thinking proactively, like, I need to get this done and this done, rather than off your radar.
I have never serviced my air ducts in my home, but if it was wrapped into something I'm already paying for, I would absolutely do that with consistency every year. And I can see how that would probably save me money in the long run, because that thing isn't going to break down.
Brilliant.
100%. And I think that that's actually, you just struck on something that's quite interesting. So that I've seen that's happened here. When you go to like a membership, a flat fee scenario, it removes the pressure, the two-sided pressure on what is my priority, because I have to think about cost.
Yeah.
Yep.
So once that's removed, then it's just like, let me get everything on the list.
Yeah.
And then I can prioritize the list, and we just start knocking them down one by one.
I mean, this is me right now. There are things I'm not doing because I have to find a service provider and I have to pay for it. It's like, I have something else to spend that $200 on. It just doesn't never happen.
Yeah. If it's already paid for, you're going to have more things to do, right? It's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Right. And the whole point is that we want to enable an environment where you can, have joy in your home. And so we'd like to be the one to help you get there.
Love that.
Amazing. Any questions from our listeners, producer?
Okay. No? Andrew, thank you so much for this. Thanks for being with us today and sharing this very creative and interesting service model. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah. If you want to learn more about Honey Homes, you can visit honeyhomes.com. We will also drop a link in the show notes to sign up. If you want to, if you have any topic requests or specific questions for us, you can reach out at info@aplaceofpossibility.com. You can also reach out to book an appointment if you would like us to take a look at your financial situation and give you some guidance. You can click on the link below to schedule that. We are also still offering a free copy of our ebook, The Investment Answer, which gives evidence-based investment insights. It's basically how the sausage is made and how we invest your assets in a really short and easy to read book. So if you want to become more educated, please grab that. We'd be happy to email you a copy.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for being with us. We appreciate your attendance and your presence. And until next time, remember, you're invested and so are we. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.